In Israel, I saw people who are strong, determined, resilient, and also angry, in shock and in deep, deep pain. We must make sure that they have what they need to protect their people today and always. The security package I'm sending to Congress and asking Congress to do is an unprecedented commitment to Israel's security.
President Biden pledging aid to Israel in a primetime address from the Oval Office last night. It followed the president's trip to Tel Aviv this week to show support to the Israeli people reeling from the terror attack. And yet a new ABC News Ipsos poll found only 41% of Americans approve of Biden's handling of the war between Israel and Hamas. The reason? 50% of Republicans think the U.S. isn't doing enough to support Israel, while 19% of Democrats think the U.S. is doing too much to help Israel. Together, that leaves a pretty weak coalition of support. Back with us is veteran journalist Geraldo Rivera, former Trump House Press Secretary, White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer, and comedian and actor Judy Gold. Sean, why is Joe Biden's response so unpopular?
Well, two reasons. That poll illustrated it. Number one, as I said earlier, the Democrats, a large part of the Democrats don't support Israel. So you got that illustrated in the poll. On the second, the Republicans, look, this comes back to how he's handled Israel. Look, I'll give President Biden an A for giving a speech. A lot of times President Trump was given an A for giving a speech, and the response was, yeah, that's a speech. What is he going to do now? Was he going to tweet? Biden gave a good speech. Great. But what did he do before that? I think he showed U.S. weakness since he's come into office. That's why Russia invaded Ukraine. That's why Hamas felt comfortable doing this. But secondly, he's empowered Iran, right? He has allowed Iran to feel emboldened, and I think the Republicans see that. It's not just about words, it's actions, and the president hasn't lived up to what he was, to supporting Israel in a substantive way.
You know, I don't know what he could have done. My rule in the Mideast is, as bad as it is, it's going to get worse. My rule in the Mideast is pessimists always win. And he tries to be, the president, God bless him, tries to be ebulliently positive and, even as he stumbles through the prompter reading and so forth. But this shocked him, I believe, and I salute him for trying to get that elusive photo op of King Abdullah and El-Sisi and Mahmoud Abbas. And it would have been a small glimmer of some hope in an area where there's so much
I guess I'm just surprised he's at 41%. I mean, I thought that he would be at a higher... Because just in terms of the response, right? Meaning, because look at the poll, 67% of Democrats still approve, 18% of Republicans approve of how he's handled the issue. What more do they want him to do?
Even if you're a Trump hater, the one thing that you could say is that he brought peace to the Middle East. The Abraham Accords were a huge success. And as Geraldo said, they took their eye off the ball in the Middle East. What did you think? They've been trying to get Iran back into the JCPOA. They've allowed them to know $6 billion was coming their way. The bottom line is they've done nothing.
But the thing is, you have to recognize, and I think that we all understand, that the Abraham Accords and the apparent progress being made was precisely the target of Hamas in committing this brutal mass murder. Yeah. They did it to strategically squash those talks, to stop progress.
Do you think there is also some fallout for the fact we don't have a Speaker of the House that... that the Republicans are in disarray?
No, I don't think that Hamas really cared who was leading the House of Representatives.
But the thing where politics does come into play is on the Israeli side. Yes. They were distracted. They were divided. Every weekend, hundreds of thousands protesting Netanyahu, who had a cabinet of amateur right-wing crazy people, now thankfully backbenched and replaced by pros, by warriors. But Israel was convulsing itself, which also set the table for Hamas to feel empowered to go. But imagine to go and rape and babies and mutilation.
And then they're forgetting about it. It's already gone. It's already gone from their memory.
Yeah. All right. Everyone stick around. Coming up, at least. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.